I'm currently rocking the Bert hairdo, like Bert from Bert and Ernie. I think what I was trying to do was redo the mohawk, and I just kind of got lazy somewhere in the process, and I did the sides, and then just kind of stopped, and there you go. It's funny, like I've never really been all that hung up about what people think about me, about my appearance. It's kind of obvious if you've been a visitor here. I was always dressing up since I was a teenager, wearing makeup and shit like that, and crazy hairdo. And I'd always kind of say, I don't care what people think, you know. And compared to most people, yeah, that's true. But you still care a little bit, you know, because perception is a lot of how you're going to be treated. But as you get older, you really care less and less about stuff. I just talked about that with Nia the other day. She was like, one of the great things about getting older, one of the good things, and there are a lot of good things. I would never swap myself today for even yesterday, you know. So yeah, you really do. You really get the feeling that it doesn't, you know, really matter. Like the old NPCs in Skyrim thing. Like worrying about what people think is like worrying about what NPCs in Skyrim think of you if you jump through town. You know, you're afraid they're gonna think you're weird or something. It literally doesn't matter. Well, not literally, you know what I'm saying. Holy shit, waking up again today to another one of these kind of stories. It's like, they're really juicing up, or ginning up, or gin and juice, Illuminati confirmed. They're really trying to get people to get in the mindset of, ooh, what was that? The watch on something. In the Civil War, race war, class war, some kind of war. Because again, they're trying to sneak out the back with the stolen goods from the country they created, so they wouldn't get kicked out of it, but was meant to come down. They've used it to as much as they needed it for, to help build their main country over there in the desert. And now it's time to just collapse the place and not be able to leave any trace of the evidence of what they did here. And the way they do that is war. You know, war always helps with stuff like that. It wipes out old architecture. It wipes out evidence. It makes people too fucking worried about shit to even bother, you know, thinking about stuff like that, because they're more focused on what's going on right in front of them. You know, it's not a bad plan, but and they've done it before too. I mean, it's been used in a lot of different. I look like Rome, you know, Rome, ancient Egypt. Where am I going here? I know I'm going here. Hang on, I'll be right back. The bankers didn't collapse ancient Egypt. I was just saying, great societies that fell apart or were collapsed. That was collapsed by other outside forces. It was tangentially related to the people who would later go on to be part of what we know as like the modern banking clan. But so I guess, yeah, you could blame them in a way too. I was walking around singing stay away, stay away, stay away when I'm crossing the street out here, and there's certain people that I stay away from, you know, because I'm trying to fucking not die. And I sing a little Enya when I do that. Yeah, it's gotten, with that thing especially, the black thing is getting crazy. I think what's happening too is like this one story today of this 6-year-old kid that was stabbed to death in his bed, and the guy pleaded insanity, right? And he walked. So like he didn't walk then. He walked originally. Then he went to jail for like something stupid, like 3 years or something. You can look at the story over here for all that. She has all the details. Lily fucking loses her mind. Oh, but she's tired of seeing it. You know, we all are. But what it is another case of black judges and blacks dealing with black element in the judicial system, and they let them go because for them it's like, good, you got that white boy. So and as she said too in her video here, it's the same thing I've been saying. They're at war already. They already started the war. Every day it's just like fucking rows and rows of black on white crime, and they don't get in trouble for it. They don't have to, they're not being held accountable for this kind of shit. No one's getting justice for these things. And if the justice system can't give people justice, the people are going to start taking justice, and the clock's winding back there anyway, like we discussed that before, because you got to look at, all right, when was the last time we had this situation under control? Well, you have to go back to before the Civil Rights Movement, before our Martin Luther King Jr. had all his fucking speeches being written for him by those banking clients I was talking about earlier, while he went up and partied in hotel rooms, and doing a little the R&R, that his people are known for. It's not rest and relaxation. Yeah, and it's getting to it's past a fucking point, a boiling point. Problem is people don't sit around or think about what are we gonna do about the blacks? They think, what are we gonna do about our government? Because the government's on their side. I've said many times here, to try to fight back against this black thing, you're fighting the government. You're fighting the system, which leads into civil war again. So it's like they're gonna try to get it whatever way they can, and that would be a way to get it. Because if you start fighting back against them, but there are things before that. It doesn't have to be all out war. Receipts, you have to start doing things to them. The problem is, it's a lot harder to get away with if you get caught. Like, if you try to get some kind of revenge or a pound of flesh, which you absolutely should, you have to start doing that, because if not, there's going to be no way to curb this stuff. And I was saying earlier, like the last time we seemed to have a peaceful situation was before the Civil Rights Movement. You had these things that I talked about in awful tones like Jim Crow and segregation. It's like, yeah, but it was a lot safer back then. And they talk about people, the hanging thing and all that stuff. So people didn't do that, because they're bloodthirsty white people. They did that out of desperation. They were trying to get control, over their area, to stop these fucking people from, raping and murdering their fellow countrymen. They just don't do cause and effects. They're not good with consequences. It's a genetic thing. It's the way the brains are constructed. I've seen that in a comment the other day somewhere, and people are freaking out like, what is your proof? It's like, I don't know. I don't have proof. I just made it up. You can't teach people. I mean, I don't want to argue with anyone, especially from that group, because that is a waste of time. It's like fighting with your, it'd be like fighting with my nephew when he was 10 about something. It's like, what the fuck is the sense? He's not listening to me. And beyond the willingness to listen, there's the comprehension problem. He's not understanding anything I'm saying. So, and eventually it just turns into, you'd never want to do it in person unless you're prepared to be attacked. Because it's usually a minute or so of them pretending to try to listen, and then you're in a scrap. And you can't get in a scrap with these people, because guess who's going to get fucked over? You. It probably got a hate crime tagged on top of it. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the first instance of some kind of revenge thing is going to be met with holy hell from our government. And it could even enact lockdowns and some kind of digital ID thing. You know, they'll be like, we have to know who these people are. Because right now they say the biggest problem in America is white supremacy. That's what they say, okay? That's what, you know, the rhetoric is, which is stupid. So the last thing you want to do is give them what they want. They want to see, you know, some guy trying to hang a black dude. Then they're like, they could fucking, just on one instance even of that alone, they could change the world. They could change the United States for sure. All kinds of things would be enacted. Digital ID would be just the beginning, you know? Because eventually what they want to do is they want to, you know, Christians is what they really want to come for, you know? Who they hate the most? Who do they hate the most in the world? And by they, I mean the people that mostly control the area we're in. Yeah, it's a big, huge cabal of all different kinds of evil pricks, but the ones that kind of run our day-to-day life here in this realm are the desert people, you know? And they hate Christians the most, right? And beyond Christians, and the reason they hate Christians most is because the guy they hate the most is Jesus, you know? So that's always the end goal. And if you study any of this stuff, it's always kind of implied that it would get to the point. You don't even have to study it. You just have to kind of have a little slight working knowledge of all this shit. You'll know that there's supposed to be a period in which Christians are persecuted. And I would say it's already happening. Some of these Muslim countries, they'd just behead you. UK is so fucked. Reminds me of how fucked they are over there. That's going to be a Muslim country. You know, all the Muslims they have in power. And eventually what's going to happen is they're going to start fucking beheading Christians, man. Like they do everywhere else. And that's going to be it. And what they did is they took white people's, you know, goodness. And they took advantage of it. Still today, I'm watching this guy on one of these ex-UK people who had to move out of the country because it's so bad. And he was talking about how it looks like it's going to be a Muslim country and the effects of that and everything and how terrible it is. And still, he won't say certain words. Like, he won't make it a white issue at all. He's saying, we're very tolerant people. We want people from all over the world to come here. He's still worried about looking like a racist. You hear stuff like that, it's just like, just forget it. Forget it. Just become a Muslim, dude, or get out of the country. That's the only choice you're gonna have if you're a resident over there, is to convert or get out or die, because that's what they do. These people don't have the same considerations you do, and that goes the same thing for black people. They weren't taught the same things we were, that all men were created equal and we're all the same. All it is shade of skin. It's just a skin color. They weren't taught that kind of shit. We have it programmed and ingrained into us by the school systems we were in that were founded and funded by the Rothschilds, the desert people again. It's like a trap. It's like the perfect trap. You know, you fucking brainwash these people into letting the monster in. And then they'll fight each other first before they turn on the monster. It's fucking crazy, you know? You gotta kind of just take it day by day and try to protect your area, protect your people, watch out for your family. The rest of the world is kind of fucked and there's nothing we can do about it. Because, you know, the greatest people on earth were too good to everybody else, and eventually it was just they were taken advantage of to the point where now they're undone. You know, it's I hate to be like the fucking doom and gloom guy, but shit is not looking good. What do you mean the best people on earth? Everybody thinks their people are the best people on earth. Where are you gonna find a Latino that says, I like my people, but it's really the Germans that, I really love, or a Chinaman is gonna like fucking the Koreans, It's not just people love their own people the best. Ours just also objectively happens to be the best, yes. And reminded of that too. A lot of it's based in jealousy, And when you say that, it triggers people. What do you mean jealous? Jealous of what? And they're jealous because it's fucking true. Just look around. Look around at, some of the people crawling around the aisles of these places. It's like, what are you a mix of? What's the genetic thing going on? Some of these fucking mutants, it looks like they're made in a lab. It's like, all right, so you have hair that looks like a black person's hair. You have a face of like, a Jewish guy, maybe. But you're really, really dark. Why do people do that? He's just fucking, I'm trying to talk, and it's like he's just getting real close and listening. And it's always me talking about something like racial or like, satanic or something, and it just picks someone up and just walk with me. That's what I'm saying. It's fucked up. But yeah, it's jealousy. It's like, damn, I wish I had those genetics or those aesthetics. Of course, not everybody, and they'll always point out like, look at the fat white person. I don't want to deal with gay homeless bro today. Not really. I don't really feel like it. Some days I just don't want to deal with him, What do we do now? He's blocking my path. I'm just gonna blow by him. I'm too busy. The thing is, I have a heart and I feel bad, and it's like, can I do this? Can I blow by him quickly? Did we do it? I think we did it. Holy shit. Yeah, it's not that I'm, just some days I just don't want to do it some days. I'm talking about something, or I'm busy doing something, or my head's somewhere else. But it's, that's like a white person thing too. Like feeling bad for other people. Empathy. Yeah, some people aren't burdened by empathy. When I talk about the prefrontal cortex, that's not just a black thing. A lot of people have that problem. They have a diminished one. The blacks don't seem to have one at all. But it's diminished in other races too. It's smaller in other races too. I used to say, like, when I first started really, really studying this stuff and getting into this stuff, I'd always describe it like you got black people over here, white people way over here, and in the middle, cascading between, are like Indians and Latinos and stuff, and there's different levels. And but black people are really way, way, way on their own, and then there's everybody else. No, it seems like I'm starting to realize that white people are way, way, way on their own, and everybody else are kind of a lot more similar. It's like it's weird, man. It's weird. A lot of people won't ever bother like looking that deeply into stuff. I don't know, it's too much work. People don't like to read. If I'm interested in the subject, I can't get enough of it. I'm just like, fucking gotta know. I have to know. And it's the curiosity cat problem can pop up too, or the staring into the abyss situation, which I've had that happen too. It'll look back at you sometime. I think it's looked back at me quite a few times, and that's kind of why my fucking brain is the way it is, I think. They dug too deeply. They mined too deeply. Alright, you get a lot of people out here and you're thinking, they're all wrapped up in their own worlds, right? They're all doing their own thing, they're talking to their own people. No. It's all I'm doing what I'm doing. It's fucked up. Yeah, it is that Truman Show thing is definitely still a heavy thing going on in the world. Well, what happened yesterday that was yesterday doing the fucking Schizo Garage, and I'm going off on my fucking blah 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 blah, you know, I'm into it, you know, talking loud, just, you know, passionate about something, and I happened to like quickly glance behind me, and about 10, maybe not 10, 15, where were they? They were less than 20 feet away from me. Right behind me were a couple of people saying nothing, being silent. I didn't hear them walk up. I didn't hear them behind me. I don't know how long they were there. I don't know what they heard. They were definitely listening, you know, because every fucking dude, I have no problem getting people to listen to me. I just show up talking, and it just... That's when you start to get paranoid. That's when the target individual thing pops in. I haven't had a lot of TI problems here, though, in Hawaii, and I chalk that up to a couple things. The inefficiency of the area. The you know, if they really wanted to do shit to me, they'd have to import the people from the mainland. Like when they want to fix an escalator here. They're just like, it's really warm here, you know? And it makes people just kind of a bit slow in the mind. And it's hard to get people fired up about anything, you know? The people that have lived here for generations, they're more used to it. You know, like people that have ancestry, maybe even Hawaiian ancestry. There's not many people like that, but the Islanders kind of can deal with it better because they're used to it. You know, they can function in this a lot easier. Their bodies were kind of made in this area. It's people who come from other parts of the world. You know, they get here and they're not used to the heat. They're not used to the frequency of the place, and it slows them down. You know, it's just kind of, I feel it too. You know, I feel it myself. You know, sometimes you just have this calling to just go over to a tree and take a nap. So, yeah, so I don't know if it's an efficiency, expertise problem or whatever, but I've had a couple instances, and I've talked about it here, and but there's currently no ongoing campaign. You know, there were other things certainly before COVID. There was a literal white van. That came from, not because of me though, it came from the people I was hanging around with, who were working with different people in the letter agency world, and they wanted to know who I was. They didn't know who I was. That's a kind of I think I told this story before. How I got out of it. I was lucky because I happened to know someone in this larger kind of sting operation. They do this, when I first came here, they were really into trying to bust drug dealers in Waikiki. You know, I've had people tell me all about it, how it works. A lot of times guys would come in on vacation with their families and pick up some hours here working undercover. And it kind of feels that way because undercovers that have kind of approached me about stuff before, they're fucking terrible. You know, you can smell them like 2 blocks away. You just know they're undercovers, you know. And it has the feeling of a guy that is on vacation. You know, like they don't know the slang, don't know the terminology. They're not kind of dressed the right way. I always look at shoes and watches. Yeah, so I've had that going on, but that's different from like gang stalking. That's the actual law enforcement. I had the law enforcement thing going on for a while. But yeah, overall, I haven't had any problems with that. Now, back in the day, I would be like, oh, I hope I'm not jinxing myself by talking about it, but I've since learned that that has nothing to do with anything. That's not how anything works. And, you know, that step on a crack, break your mother's back shit. No, that's all to fucking psychologically fuck you in the head so that you're worried about everything. None of that works that way at all, you know? So, you're not gonna jinx anything by talking about it. I got rid of all my OCD shit. Like, I have to turn this fucking light on and off 5 times. Or else what? There's just this impending, unformed doom that kind of hangs over your shoulders when you have that kind of problem. OCD, you're like, oh, something bad's gonna happen. Like, it's never well defined, but you know it inside. It's a really weird fucking thing. I was like that my whole life. Coming back to God erased a lot of that stuff. It took all the fear away. The thing is, though, I think the fear was, it's not his fault. The fear, I think it was replaced by anger. Because I have noticed I'm the angriest I've ever been. I probably shouldn't say that for those monitoring me. It'll just be another thing to add to the list. It says positive things about Trump. Doesn't seem to like black and brown people. Very angry. And yeah, they're right about all that, but you know, I'm trying to keep the ban at bay. Are we done? Are we done here? I think so. There's nothing else going on. Yeah, just more horrendous black on white crime news feeds. What else happened? More push for civil war, some kind of conflict in America. It's fucking same shit. Just you know, further in the week. Oh, weekend. Today's Saturday, right? Yeah. I shouldn't say stuff like that because then when I do these videos, I don't know when I'm fucking putting it up. Every time I go to edit one, I'm like, Friday night here. What's like? Why did you say that? Because I mean, not to be like a disingenuous in some way or try to hide that stuff, but when I'm watching something, I want to know that it's new, it's happening, this is happening now. Unless, you know, I look at the time and it was like 2 years ago or whatever. If I'm watching the latest video from someone, I kind of want to feel like I'm watching, you know, something. And I never go too long. Like, I never go longer than, like, say, a week. Like a work week. If it's 5 days old, then it gets thrown out. No fucking way. But, yeah. But that's a me problem, not a you problem. So I'll go try to work that out on my own time. And I'll set you free like a bird or a dove. And sail away, and stay away, stay away, stay away. Always stay away. Stay away, stay away, stay away. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school. Oh my god, I just missed the cutest dog when I fucking turned it off. You know, guys would probably be staring at the blonde that was holding it, but I was looking at a little dog. Adorable. He had one, you know, had one of those little like black eyes. You know, like how they have that sometimes. Adorable. Probably the only black eye I was happy to see today.